Manchester United is interested in offers for Aaron Wan Bissaka. Welcome to the United Hotspot as the hunt for a left back at Manchester United begins. It's serious now. Well, have you subscribed? Have you liked the videos you've watched? Well, go ahead and do it because, guys, it's very important for the growth of this community that we are trying to grow. But let's get into it as the summer transfer talk and speculation continues. Well, what we are getting now from credible sources around Manchester United is that United have decided to invest in a left back. Now, we know that we've been monitoring, and that's why I've taken long to come here and talk about a left back for Manchester United because the situation with the two we have, that is Luke Shaw and Tyrell Malaysia, has been monitored, but there is no guarantee that these two will return to full fitness. Remember, they will return most likely for preseason. Of course, it was said that Luke Shaw could return in training this week and maybe will be back before the end of the season. But there cannot be guarantees about the fitness of Luke Shaw for the greater good. So United are looking ahead. Eric Ten Hag, whether he's going to stay or not, whichever boss will be there, will need a natural left back in the team. Now, Manchester United have reportedly started now listening to potential offers. If they are there in the summer, they will be open to listening to potential offers for Aaron Wan Bissaka as the player they will choose to let go of. Remember, towards the I think towards the end of last year, it was reported that Manchester United had agreed to trigger a one-year contract extension in the contract of Aaron Wan Bissaka. Now, of course, that was because the situation then with the players that we had and the lack of finances was glaring. The issues were there with our left backs. And Wan Bissaka honestly has proved to be a utility defender for Manchester United. Played right back, played left back, ably well. Honestly, I think he's a good snatch of the ball when it comes to 1v1 situations. Not so many in the world in Europe are better than him. But perhaps he doesn't fit exactly the bill of a player that Ineos sees as a future star at this club. So they will be listening to offers. And I think Wan Bissaka is a player I think we can get because he has got a year. We triggered his 1 year extension, so he would have had. I mean, he can get us about 20 or 25 million pounds, from him. That's money we can get from him. So that would be good money for Manchester United to add on to whatever we have. The 100 million that we might have as the best amount to spend in the summer, for us to top on that and try to get a clear replacement for him in that left back position. Now I'm going to talk about a young player in this video who has been linked to Manchester United for a long time as a potential replacement for Aaron Wan Bissaka. He's young, plays for Girona. He's only 22 years of age. He's a kid, he's Spanish, and he has been one of those players that United has monitored for a long time, from way back in 2017 when Jose Mourinho was still there. Mourinho, in fact, wanted to sign him from Real Madrid. At that time, he had not yet been let go of by Real Madrid to join Girona. He was still playing for Real Madrid, and he was only 16, but Jose Mourinho knew how good he was, wanted to sign him, but the boy opted to start Real Madrid. Then 2 years later, Zinedine Zidane, after Ferland Mendy got injured, Zinedine Zidane gives him his debut with the senior team of Real Madrid. Plays for the senior team a bit, has a few games there, 21 to 2022, and he was eventually released and he joined FC Girona, where he has gone on to play over 60 games, scoring just a few goals. But about his game, so that shows you that he has got the potential to be a good player. But about his game, he's a 5'11". That's tall enough. The only issue I have with him is his weight. He looks a bit light, but I think in the modern game today, the weight of a defender does not matter. It's how the way teams play now. They play with the ball. It's your technical abilities, your mobility that makes you a good left back in world football today. Not really your weight. Now, the thing about his game that I like is he's a good ball carrier, so he will bring life to our left back. I think one of the things that Aaron Wan Bissaka lacks when he plays left back, so does Diogo Dalot, is the inability to make overlapping runs that are sensible and of course that can turn into crosses. And that's an important part of a left back who is going to play in a team that Eric Ten Hag wants to set up, because he wants to play and build from behind. That's why you see Luke Shaw is so important for Man United, because Luke Shaw makes the left wing so exciting. That's why when Luke Shaw is there, he actually makes Marcus Rashford. He covers up for the flaws of Marcus Rashford because of his overlapping runs. That he can make good overlapping runs and make crosses, create chances, swing in crosses, but also he's a good tackler and has got a certain physique to him. Now, this boy, going back to Miguel Gutierrez, he's also a good tackler. He is a decent tackler, but his biggest strength in his game is the ability to play along with his teammates, can play from behind, pass the ball to him, pass it inside to a midfielder, let's say Kobe, move in, of course, play a 1-2, pass it to your winger, then make an overlapping run to try and get a pass that can then turn into a cross. So such players, you imagine if you have such an overlapping left back playing together with Alejandro Garnacho, who is again an animated winger who knows to cut in from wide areas to cut inside with the ball, it will make the left wing exciting. Now, if the right wing still already has a Diogo Dalot who is good with swinging crosses as well, it means we've got width in our game. We've got a strong dimension with our midfielder. So that's the advantage I see in this sport. But the most important thing is the fact that he's cheap, because according to the last time I checked was priced at about 20 or 22 million pounds. Now that for me is little money for Manchester United to go and invest in a department that is so important for the team in this summer. So you look at that and say, if we can get 20 or 25 million pounds from the sale of Aaron Wan Bissaka, we can spend that directly to get a replacement for him in this 20-year-old boy, and that would be an investment for a decade, for 10 years. And it's not so expensive, because even if Tyrell Malaysia became fit, or even if Luke Shaw returned and was fully fit, even if this boy was going to come now and be on the bench, it's okay, because first of all, he's young. There's a lot he can learn from Luke Shaw, who I think when he's fit, Luke Shaw is one of the top 3 best left backs in world football. Now, he can learn from him, and Luke Shaw is 28 going 30. When Luke Shaw ages, he will be able now to come and take the mantle. But also, if it's Tyrell Malaysia who is coming in ahead of him, he can still learn from Tyrell Malaysia and can give him competition, because they are close to each other. So you see that then we'll have proper cover for our left back position, but with not so much money as spent on it. So my thinking, for me, he would make sense. Well, of course, there are others, and we'll talk about them. And we'll talk about those others, but there are others that United has been monitoring. There are other left backs that we've been linked with. A few of them, perhaps for me, do not fit the description or the bill of a player who can fit into what you want to build at Manchester United. But the reality is, Ineos have made it clear that a left back is a top priority for them in this transfer window that's coming in the summer. Very important part of course, whatever we are doing at Manchester United. Now, I know that there are people now who will cry and feel bad about Aaron Wan Bissaka and those reports. But guys, here is the thing. United is in a sell to buy situation. That is one. We need to sell players to buy players. Two, we've got to get natural players in certain departments. And with Eric Ten Hag, whether you like Aaron Wan Bissaka or not, him or Diogo Dalot, one of the two has got to make way. If you are going to make money, we've got to sell either Diogo Dalot or Aaron Wan Bissaka. Now, we can't be divided as fans on who should go. Is it Wan Bissaka or Diogo Dalot? But clearly, you've seen that in the plans of Eric Ten Hag, and I think even honestly, if you judge these players with an open mind, whereas Diogo Dalot will have a few bad games, the fact is Dalot is slightly ahead of Wan Bissaka lately, since Bissaka fell in terms of taking order when he got injured. Dalot has worked on himself and improved certain key areas in his game, but also Dalot contributes a lot to the attack. When you're going forward, he adds a lot. So for a manager like Eric Ten Hag and any other modern manager, they would want such a right back. So they would prefer, it's easy, I think, to decide between Dalot and Wan Bissaka. So you can see why it's going to be Wan Bissaka who has got to be sacrificed. I told you that when Jason Wilcox came in, the first thing he had to do is put in place a transfer plan for the team, because he's going to be the one heading the recruitment. Works with the manager, but he's at the head of the recruitment. Him and the CEO will be at the head of the recruitment. So they've got to have a plan, but first they need to see how much money they have, how much more they need, and which players can bring in that money, so that we beat the financial fair play man and go and be able to attack the transfer window with confidence. So Wan Bissaka in our backline and solving the left back position, that was a late problem, because before, after signing Tyrell Malaysia from Feyenoord for 13 million and Luke Shaw already in his prime age, we thought the left back was sorted, but injuries have meant that United has got to go in the market and find another left back. Now, where the money comes from, we're not going to get the 100 million we have as the ground fee to add on with the sales and spend the part of it on the left back, because we've got more important departments to solve. We've got a centre back, we've got a replacement for Casemiro, and these are more important, more expensive players, by the way. A replacement for Casemiro, a holding midfielder, a centre back. Then you look at a backup striker. So that other money we have might be want to spend on different departments. So if we fail to find a buyer for Aaron Wan Bissaka, a suitable buyer, then we might be stuck with him. But that is what we call a sell to buy situation. You want to buy a player in a certain department, you might be forced to sell a player in that exact department. So for the left back, we can't sell an injured Tyrell Malaysia. He's young but also promising. We can't sell a natural Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, I still hope that Luke Shaw might give us more minutes in the future. So Aaron Wan Bissaka or Diogo Dalot, make your choice for you. I think for me, it is clear that Ineos might have made the right decision. They will be listening to offers for Aaron Wan Bissaka. And the reality is, Wan Bissaka can stay in the Premier League. There are so many clubs in the Premier League that will make use of Wan Bissaka and play him in his preferred position because he prefers to play as a right back. Left back at United is a stopgap measure. He's there to fix a problem, but he prefers to play as a right back. So that's exactly where he would rather be. So honestly, I will not cry over it. The question is, shall we get an able left-footed player? I think this boy, Miguel Guterres, who has been linked with United, our scouts have been monitoring him for quite some time. He has played some decent minutes in the league. Of course, the physical demands of the league are different from the Premier League, but the way he plays and how we want to play now going forward, with or without Eric Ten Hag, we know that the kind of football that Ineos will want to play will be more possessive. So you need a left back who can carry the ball. He will certainly fit into that. But most importantly, he's cheap and young. Players today are expensive. If you're going to get a decent 22-year-old left back for 20, he has got the potential to become like the Liverpool boy, Roberto. He can be like a Roberto. He can swing in crosses. He can make good runs, overlapping runs. He can tackle, make smart tackles. He can play. He's a good footballer. He's a baller, and those are the players we need going forward in the new look Manchester United. Of course, under Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So that's a quick update on what's coming through from Manchester United. I will be back with more. My name is Webb. Subscribe, guys, if you haven't. And of course, we are on the road to 10K. Let's get there, guys. We can do it as we grow this community of Manchester United supporter. You can as well support the growth of this channel by becoming a member so that every month, have some small subscription. You make just under $2 really, and you're supporting the growth and development of this Man United community, because trust you me, we are here to stay, and trust me, we can take over. Forget about these naysayers who talk bad about our club, pretend to support it, but don't really do. Guys, we are the real supporters of Manchester United. Better join this community as early as you can. My name is Webb. Subscribe, guys. I'll catch you later.